summertime flow. You play Passing Me by Farside, and it just makes me feel like summer is almost here. And we're getting there. We're in the 70s today, flirting with 80. But on Thursday, we will be flirting with 90. And sign me up. That's fine. Let's get some oppressive, slaughtering heat, shall we? Anyway, it's a Tuesday night tonight. It's the 3rd day of June, 2025, and we've got a good one. And before I introduce our guests, we've got Chrissie, Mayr, and Leonarda, Jonie here in the studio. But before I actually throw them into the mix, I just got to tell you one or two real quick things. Number one is that we have, again, on I don't know what we're doing tomorrow night, but on Thursday night, Reverend Bill Bean is going to be on. And we're going to be talking about some of his recent supernatural experiences. I said, hey, Reverend, have you had any really crazy exorcisms and all that stuff lately? I want to talk about demonic attack again. I want to get into all of that stuff. He said, I'm going to bring you the 15 warning signs of possible spiritual attack. I said, great. And we're also going to bring up the whole AI Ouija board kind of a thing too. So the portals in your palm, we're going back to it. Mike Baldwin will be on with us on Friday. And then I just want to throw this out there because Saturday night is going to be Rumble only. Okay, we're going to have a nice spot on Rumble. You'll probably see us on that front page. RJ Williams, he's returning. Anthony and I are going to be talking to him. He's a magician, but he's also an ex-bank robber. And we're going to be talking about all the things that we never got to ask him about the last time he came on the show, which was in 2012, when he ate in record time a gigantic light bulb. He eats light, and I told him, RJ, are you going to bring a light bulb on? We need to have a light bulb eat. And he said, you got it. You know what? I'll go out and I'll go get one. I said, good, get a big meaty one. A big meaty light bulb. They're real, and you're going to see it for yourself. So that's going to happen on Saturday night. With that being said, I have a real quick update from Rich Barris. He texted me last night, or actually this morning. You remember last night he talked about his UFO experience. He said, Frank, this was around midday today. Frank, I just saw a UFO in broad daylight, driving down the road with my kids and my wife again. Haven't seen anything like that in years, and I speak to you about it last night, and all of a sudden, there's one hovering over Highway 70, which did a U-turn and went back in the direction it came and disappeared. And then it appeared and then disappeared. So I said, well, what shape were we talking about here? He says, I think it would be about an oval at first, and I thought it was a typical UFO, but it wasn't. It looked oval, almost like a blimp, but without anything on it or any ability to move or change direction, and it was very shiny, like it was shimmering. So we talked to Rich Barris last night. We could have talked about polls and polling and Republicans versus Democrats, but we talked a little bit about the bizarre and the inexplicable, and it showed up for him again today. They must have been listening. I'm telling you, there's an emotional link between, if you've seen one of those things, you probably have a hook in you somehow. They always know where to find you. I hate to be scary right now. All right, and one last thing. Thank you to our sponsor, Keto Brainz. I'm still giving a lot of those samples out if you want to try them. Explode your brain, especially during work or whatever the hell else. You know what Aurora said to me? I hate to make this long. So Aurora comes into the room. She flabbergasted me. She said, Daddy, I want to, I think we should make a hot cocoa, and then we can make a video about it, and it can be a sponsor. She's 4. I said, wait, well, I didn't hear what she said. I said, you said a sponsor? Sponsor what? And she goes, a sponsor for your show. I said, you're thinking about sponsors for my show? She said, yes, but hot cocoa, and we can make videos of stirring the cocoa. And then she says, like your coffee thing. I was flabbergasted. I said, who are you? Get out of here. So she left. Can't flabbergast me like that in the middle of the day. All right. Well, with that being said, let's get this one kicked off. We'll be back with some great guests and some great talk. Here we go.
You let one ant stand up to us, then they all might stand up.
Those puny little ants outnumber us 100 to 1.
And if they ever figure that out, there goes our way of life. It's not about food. It's about keeping those ants in line. That's why we're going back. Does anybody else want to stay?
Sponsor ideas. He's useless.
Well, mine is 2 years, 2.5 years ahead of yours?
All right, whatever. He's 13 months. Big deal. Let's start working for me. Do something.
Between you and Frank, I'm surprised that he's not pulling his weight yet. It's like, geez, you guys never stop working.
He eats so much.
That's good.
He eats like an adult amount of food.
That's his only job. Hey, you know who else is here? Is Leonarda Jonie. Wow. Jeez, this is so great to have everybody.
What a get.
This was a great get. And you know what all I had to do? All I had to do was just direct message her. I thought for sure, and she said, I know the show too.
I do know the show, yeah.
I didn't know how that was possible. But you know, I found you, I don't know, a couple of years ago at this point. I said, okay, cool, she's a local. You just know, a New Yorker. You see one. But then I learned that you weren't born here in the States. You were born overseas, right?
Listen, I'm trying to run for president, so I can't keep talking about this.
You can't keep talking about it. I know.
I'm going to have to fake a birth certificate in Hawaii.
Yes. You're going to also have to hide that penis of yours.
What are you talking about?
No, that gets you ahead of the line these days.
True. That gets you a book deal and a podcast.
Oh, my gosh. So yeah, but you know what I think was great? I learned that you're Albanian.
That's right.
And I've got a lot of...
Where are my Albanians at?
See,
Is that the Albanian gang symbol?
No, this is the Albanian flag symbol.
Oh, because it's also in Napoleon Dynamite. Remember the scene when they were doing this?
Oh, they're stealing our...
The interpretive dances.
Stealing our vibe.
Yes.
I met a lot of... all the Albanians I ever met, at first at least, I met them in high school. They're all from Yonkers in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And that's, I don't know, there was just a special brand of diplomacy with the Albanians. Once you were in with them, though, you had a special brand of protection as well.
That's true. That is true. They're pretty gangster.
They're like black people, but literate.
They're like black people, but they don't destroy the property values. That's...
They're like black people, but they don't loot.
They're proficient roofers as well, right? They have roofing businesses.
Yeah, they do a lot of construction, a lot of pizza restaurants.
They're in restaurants, yeah.
Yep, a lot of restaurants. Business owners, they're business people.
Frank's club that he had that comedy room in White Plains, that restaurant, Z Prime, they're Albanian.
Alba's is all Albanian here in town.
Really? A place called Alba's is Albanian?
Alba's, yeah. Well, the thing is that they make Northern Italian food.
Always. Always.
What is Albanian food?
It's like Greek food in a way. It's very Mediterranean. A lot of fish, a lot of salad, a lot of
feta?
vegetables, a lot of feta cheese. Yep.
What are your
Lamb.
family? I also know how protective Albanian families, especially the men, are of their girls.
Yeah.
So how was it received when you started saying, hey, I mean, this is, the performance life is... I'm going into the comedy business. How do they like that?
They don't know. So.
Oh, okay.
They don't, like they don't understand, or you just don't tell them?
I just don't talk about it.
They don't know where I am right now.
Nobody knows where I am right now.
They think I have a desk job somewhere.
Wow.
I don't know what my family thinks I do. But I don't tell them.
How do they think you make money?
There was a moment where the Indians almost ruined my facade. Because they went in and started spam emailing my dad. But luckily my brother was just like, I don't know what this is. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's just mixed in with all the other spam.
Is your brother running cover for you?
I mean, kind of, I don't know. It's not something they would get. It's just like another thing that my dad would be like, yeah, you're a loser and you failed in life. So I'm just like, all right.
That's kind of how my parents were. They didn't understand it. They didn't try to get it. They were like old boomers. They don't know anybody that succeeded doing anything other than school, being a teacher, being a nurse, or I don't know, being a not a blue collar, being something white collar. I don't know.
Well, when it comes to something digital too, I've had that many times. Of course, it was a little bit more diplomatic. Whoever I was talking to, it's same old people, whether it be uncles or whatever the hell they say. So explain to me one more time how this works. And that's I know what that is. That is like, how are you paying your bills?
Exactly.
It's a new. You just have to say, I'm not paying my bills. And that's it. Everything's going very, very badly for me.
This is my OnlyFans. Are you happy? Now you know the truth.
Oh my God. Hey, you know what? I never asked any of you. Well, this is the first time I'm talking to Leonarda, but especially you two, Chrissie, who in your families, let's start with Leonarda. Who in your family do you think you get it from? Like, is there a specific family tradition or a moment or a person that shaped your humor? Like, is there a classic Albanian grandma story that we need to hear? Like, who is it in your family or your background that gave it to you?
That's probably my dad, because he always shits on everything. So that's what I do. I'm like, this is stupid. You guys are dumb. You believe in the lies. These are lies. That's me. That's what I do now.
Wow.
So it's funny that we're like oil and water.
So he should understand what you do. He would appreciate it.
No,
he's just not there
wrong.
yet.
You know what's great though, especially when it comes to that kind of interaction with an audience too. It seems like everybody is hungry for it. It's almost like people get a very specific itch scratched when somebody tells them that they're being ridiculous or they look stupid or it's something like that. So,
because we're all being lied to. We live in this culture that's trying to legislate kindness, and everybody has to be and fake compassion. By the way, it's all fake compassion. It's all bullshit. So everybody's waiting for the truth. So it's like a thirsty man in a desert, and you have water, and they're just like, oh, thank God, I'm not nuts.
Yeah.
Just
our car ride conversation over here, Frank, would get us both canceled 3 times over.
Really?
Yes.
I often
that should have been the podcast.
I wondered tonight. Yeah, in preparation for tonight's show, I have a couple of things I wrote down, but other than that, I was just kind of, I said a half a rosary, and I just said, well, you know what? Whatever's going to happen to us is just going to happen. But what about for you? I mean, you have a little bit more of a suburban Long Island feel to you.
Oh yeah.
So we're not talking Bronx, we're not talking Albanians. But was there anybody in your life you say?
I definitely get my racism from my dad, because just growing up listening to him like regale us with stories of everybody who was trying to like cheap out on, because he was a landscaper. He was among some of our great. He was really the great like last white landscaper of our time. Before the Mexicans took it over. But he was very good at what he did, and he would always complain like the Jews are trying to like not pay their full bill, like the blacks, this and that. It was mostly the Jews that he would complain about growing up. And then you're like,
your dad and I would have gotten along.
You're like, wow, dad's really got a chip on his shoulder. And then you become an adult and you just can't help but see patterns and things with certain groups of people that we won't mention. But he just was. He wasn't really able to turn it into humor. He is someone who like got very weighed down by these things in life and carried it all like a burden, and just became like sort of surly and crusted over.
That's a very good description.
And he's German. He's a German immigrant and like a functioning alcoholic. So just a lot of anger. Maybe had some gay experiences when he was in the Navy.
There's always something.
Yeah, always something. And then like raised in a very passive aggressive household. Everyone is shitting on each other. No one could be honest with one another. Everyone's like mom and dad very resentful of one another. It's just and then there was kind of like I grew up watching The Simpsons and Married with Children, like really with my dad. I would watch that as a kid with him.
What about Wonder Years? Did you guys ever watch the Wonder Years?
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've been seeing Wonder Years moments has been in my timelines now for a couple of weeks now. Like, what the hell's going on? I may have to go watch all this again.
What would you do if I sang Attitude? It's kind of corny for me. I don't know. It's like, yeah, very wholesome, but I can't identify with it.
Always seemed very depressing.
Yes, but I didn't know that only because I probably didn't get it. I didn't get it.
Yeah, I didn't think I got it either. Maybe I was just too young to get it.
Isn't that that's where, what's his name? Everybody said it was Marilyn Manson. Who the hell was it? Paul?
Did Paul turn into Marilyn Manson? I saw that meme.
That was the theory for so many years, that Marilyn Manson was Paul from the Wonder Years. And then shortly after that was that he removed ribs so he can blow himself theory.
Oh, wow.
I believe that theory.
You guys don't remember those?
You mean this whole time I could have been blowing myself?
If you just removed a few ribs.
Just that floater gets in the way. You just have to do a little something, modify yourself. I don't know. But okay, so you guys, it is all family.
Yeah, but nobody was like, it wasn't like anyone was really funny. It was just how to deal with the fact that no one could be honest with one another, and there was a lot of like tension and anger and fighting, and then that was like just sort of how you deal with it.
Yeah. Well, Albanians like to do a lot of comedy. You know, they they make fun of everything. They think they take the piss out of everything, pretty much.
I love that. That was my favorite remembrances of high school, especially when I was hanging with the Albanians. The little, everybody had it was really crazy. Like the United Nations at my school, Archbishop Stepanak in White Plains. It really was.
I
like
love that band, Stepanak.
Oh yeah, what? There's a band?
Stepanak. I like to dream.
That's Steppenwolf.
Oh fuck, same thing.
That's Steppenwolf. Hey, well, you know what? Good recall.
Yep.
That is a good one.
My memory is like a steel trap.
Speaking of memory, Leonarda, I heard that you were also a philosophy. You've got a big philosophy background.
Yeah, don't tell people. I need them to think I'm dumb and I don't know what I'm talking about.
Oh well, you can't. There's no thinking you're dumb. There is nothing.
Oh, please talk to the Indians. They think I'm retarded, so that's fine.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. The Indians, and you're out there in the world. You just see everybody's hang up, and I don't know. There's a lot of projection out there if you're not part of everybody's inner circles or whatever. But when you're talking about philosophy, I have to imagine that it makes some kind of an impact on your writing style, or at least how you process information. Do you ever see?
Yeah, I always get way too long and winded, way too long, and then by the time I write it, and then I go back and I go, there's maybe 3 sentences in here you really need, and just cut it out. I'm like, you're not giving them a lecture.
Yeah, no, you know what the good thing about that is? I know exactly what you're talking about. What happens at the end of that is, you've spent so much time writing and describing the situation that you're trying to paint for people. And then at the end, over the course of the writing process, you've instilled so much of your own, it's like a new understanding of the joke. And that when you strip it all away, down to the more base elements, I don't know, it works out a lot better. And you actually understand your own joke better that way.
You got to erase the pencil and just leave like the ink,
Have you guys ever... Chrissie, you first. Were you ever inducted into the TAG or the GATE program at school?
TAG or the GATE program?
GATE.
I've never heard of this.
Leonarda?
I recently heard about it, and I don't think so, because I went to school in the Bronx, so I was in school with like Puerto Ricans and blacks. I don't think they were looking for gifted kids there.
Oh, this was some gifted shit? Oh, no.
We're
I'm
talking.
not part of that.
They weren't looking for the gifted there.
No government programs.
No. They came in looking for future prisoners, though.
I was in the IB program, if that's something. International Baccalaureate. It's it's like advanced placement, but I guess you do a whole diploma. I don't know. You do a big essay, a 3,000-word essay.
Really?
And you can pick some classes advanced, some classes not. I don't know. They really hyped it up like it was going to give me all these college credits. It didn't.
It didn't.
No.
I think about all that extra shit. I don't know.
I do think about that GATE program, though. I think that's where they got gifted kids.
No, it's weird.
Then they have gates against groomers.
I know. Well, hell, 'tis the season. No, the GATE program. The GATE program is nuts, just because we've covered it a couple of times and we've done open lines night for people who are in it, and sometimes it's just innocuous.
I didn't know you did cocaine.
I know, wide open lines, like garden hose. But we're talking about what people's experiences were. Sometimes it's innocuous stuff, like, okay, well, we were brought into another room. And it was just essentially like we got to, play card games and whatever the hell. But then other people were going to sleepaway camp, and they were like losing time and shit like that.
Wow.
Like,
were they getting MK Ultra or anything?
I don't know. Like, they would go to sleep on one level of a building in a sleepaway camp. They'd wake up. They'd be in another place. They don't understand what the hell's going on there.
Their pants are gone.
Everybody writing about it on the internet. There's several threads. You'll see things that'll keep going over and over and over again. Whether they be certain features on the back of people's heads, like they have that cliff at the back of their skull, or they'll have, a lot of them will have drowning. Yeah. A lot of them.
I have a little nub in the back of my skull. Does that mean I'm gifted?
Have you ever almost drowned before?
Hell no.
Okay.
I'm a great
I did almost
swimmer.
drown once.
You did?
Yeah, but I was in the beach.
Well, that's some scary shit.
So gifted people are drowning?
What, undertow? You got pulled out?
I just kept going out. I was swimming with my cousin at Jones Beach, and she just kept going out, so I kept going out. And then I guess we were trying to swim back, and I guess I didn't realize we weren't making any progress. And the next thing I know, there's a lifeguard coming in to rescue me. And I was like, wow, I don't need it. I'm doing fine. That's when I thought. I was young.
Oh, cool. Well, at least you weren't panicking yet.
Yeah. And then I had a shaved head. So
you had a shaved head?
What happened?
It's a whole thing. And
lice?
No, it's called being Albanian. And
punishment?
I had a shaved head. So my cousins were on the beach with my mom, and they were like, oh, look, there's a little Puerto Rican girl drowning.
She got caught reading.
Because I was like tan or whatever. And my mom's like, that's not a Puerto Rican. That's my daughter. And she's like running down.
Oh, my gosh.
But,
what's the shaving all about?
It's just something that they do. Albanians do this thing where they shave their kid's head. Like, you're supposed to do it once, but my dad was like, if once is good, then every year is better.
Oh, my God.
You had a whole restart every year?
Heck?
Listen, I was psychologically the GATE program was my house, so I was MK Ultra without the government.
Jeez, that's crazy. I mean, look,
how do you shave a little girl's head?
When you're trying to break their spirit, that's when
for
you
real.
No, I'm fucking with you.
Oh my God!
I'll tell you, it takes a little while. I mean, that would suck to have to start over every year. But then again, me, I mean, once I got out of college, I tried growing it out again. I said, I'm going to grow my hair. I'm going to do a little bit of tape up or something like that. And I had already been shaving for a while. That's when I realized, well, I better keep shaving because it's not coming back. So I don't know. Thankfully, I'm a guy though. Hey, what would you guys say now that we're almost halfway through this year?
Wow.
What's your grade that you would give of the comedy scene so far in 2025?
I don't know. I'm not on the comedy scene.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like I've been in like a mom bubble. So it's hard for me to know. I feel like I'm not really quite on the pulse.
I know. Well, Leonarda is definitely out there. I saw your thing.
Oh yeah, she's crushing it
on the Hodge twins, and of course, everywhere you are, I'm usually seeing the highlights coming out there. So I know that you're hitting the road a little bit more than Chrissie right now, and for good reason. But what the hell do you think? What do you think about just the club life, venue life? I know that you've had quite a bit of cancellations, but both of you guys have.
Yeah, I don't do clubs anymore. I just book private venues, rent them out, and people who buy tickets and get past my AI screening, get the location, and that's it.
You do an AI screener?
Yeah.
What's that like?
I have a guy who knows how to like screen all the ticket holders and make sure none of them are libs who are posing.
That's so smart.
And he's got a
I need
database of Antifa members across the country.
Wow.
Cross checks it.
I wonder if one of them pepper sprayed me.
Could be.
Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I was fucking pregnant.
Both of you guys have got you guys have got some. You've got some records.
Yeah, they want to attack you because you're daring to step out of the global homo communist propaganda that they're shoving down everybody's throat. And they don't want that because there's other people who believe exactly. If there weren't anybody who believed what I believed, I wouldn't sell any tickets. I wouldn't have any followers, nothing, but there is, and they can't have that because it shows that they're weak and they're not in the majority. And that's going to threaten their whole hold on power. So,
is there anything that you're doing these days? I know that there is definitely a loosening of the tie. I feel like a lot of people are, perhaps just because everybody has been able to express a little bit more of a collective feeling of being fed up, that there seems to be a loosening of the tie. Everybody is at least saying to hell with it and willing to at least say, engage in controversial exchanges now. Some people are just spurging out and just, trying to say every word possible that they haven't been able to say in the last 12 years.
I think that's good. I think they should.
It's a good.
I think they should because you got to put. We don't understand how far the Overton window is to the left right now.
Yeah,
it's even now when they're loosening the tie. It's not even that much. It's like stuff that maybe, 5-6 years ago was like accepted, like, oh, now we can say trans women aren't women.
Right.
Ooh,
yeah.
Thank you for that. It's like, are you fucking giving me, give me a break. Can we talk about crime statistics and their correlation to racial demographics?
Right.
No, still can't talk about that? Then you don't want to talk about anything real.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who still just completely off any kind of mainstream platforms because of things. You go into crime statistics, you go into IQ, you go whatever the hell it is. And there are certain hot button topics that you still are untouchable. So I just
things that, by the way, are true. So you don't want me to talk about things that are true because it's inconvenient for you and your agenda.
They'll hurt people's feelings.
Yeah,
And then
go fuck yourself.
See, so is there anything that you both are doing now that you would have been hesitant to do a few years ago?
Yeah, everything.
That's there's a little bit of a loosening there.
I think so. Yeah, I do feel more confident in myself just as part of getting older. Like you just believe in yourself more. And then you just have the experience. Like you've seen enough, you've been on the road enough, seen enough of the country, like people largely, they still laugh at what they've always found funny. And then you realize, oh, these people aren't on Twitter like I am all the time, like hunting for news. And then, you're in your bubble a little bit of like the news people, the journalists, the influencers that you see all the time. And then you get out to a crowd of people and it's like these people might not even be on Twitter. They don't fucking care about social media. Like they're just they're working their job, living their lives. They still laugh at the same racist, homophobic, misogynist shit they always did.
Have you actually seen some of the things that, I don't know where the hell it was. It was on Instagram. I was like joy scrolling with my wife last night.
Joy scrolling, not doom scrolling?
No, yeah, I'm trying to do the opposite.
Aww.
But then again, she's shocked at my algorithm.
Me and Frank have the exact same algorithm.
She is shocked as what is popping up for me. But anyway,
Translated speeches from a certain painter.
Yes. Translated speeches.
Comments being like, "What did he know? Why didn't we listen?"
There's
Things like
Kanye
that.
West songs.
The Kanye West, all
Questions.
the Kanye West
What
memes.
books did they burn? Huh? What books did they burn?
It's all over. I mean, but either way, there's a lot of interesting things that roll in there too. And I saw a lot more of these behind the scenes of these click farms. And like the caption will be, "This is who you are arguing with on the internet." And it's just a server room that is filled. It looks like tens of thousands of
monkeys on typewriters.
it looks like iPhones.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And I knew about click farms back in
Yeah.
2010, 11. I had friends that are working in marketing at that time that said, "Frank, do not." This is when Facebook was the first place that offered you a chance to boost your posts to reach your already attained subscribers. And he said, "Don't spend $5 on boosted posts. It's all Saudi Arabia. It's all Minnesota click farms."
Really? I've spent so much money on Facebook, not recently, but like over the years, like just promoting comedy shows like 10 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure that you got some traction from it, but they're definitely shaving points.
Wow.
No doubt. It was just, but these days I feel like, rage bait and getting people to be able to fight and engage, because everybody makes money off of engagement.
Yeah.
And if you can just have a couple of, and it's not real, it's like you're arguing ghosts. That's why I want to talk about the Ouija board on Thursday night. You ever play with a Ouija board?
Yeah,
like
one
that?
time. I'll never do it again.
What happened?
I played with some Ouija board when I was at, in college. And then it was weird. Like the people I was playing with were like, we're not moving it, and I'm like, okay. And supposedly we were talking to some Jesuit priest because I went to a Jesuit college.
Oh, jeez.
And then that night I went to
Loyola?
bed. No, Fordham.
Okay. Oh, that's right. That's right. I've read
and
that.
I went to bed, and it just so happened my roommates weren't there that weekend, and I had a weird fucking experience. I was like, I couldn't sleep, and then I fell asleep kind of like within 20 minutes of falling asleep. I felt like there was like a spirit in there, like hovering around my feet, and I was like, okay, I'll never do this again. We'll never do it again.
Wow, that's scary.
It's not like you're going to get the truth anyway. You're like, most of the time you're talking to demons and they're going to lie to you.
Yeah.
So,
that probably wasn't even a priest.
yeah, I don't think it was a priest. I don't, now I have a whole other understanding, but I'll never do that again.
Something Captain Howdy shit.
I dabbled in that shit for years, like longer than I am able to admit. Like I don't know. And then you realize, no, it's a distraction away from like a real relationship with God, because that's all you need. You don't need to fucking horoscopes or.
Oh yeah, I used to do horoscopes and go get readings. They always tell you such bullshit too.
It is.
Oh man, I don't know. I think a psychic told before I was born, a psychic told my father that I was going to be a priest. I guess I still have time, but that'll upset a lot of people at this point. Holy shit. Well, this is going to be a good. Oh, wait. Before we get off, canceling never is going to be really very far from the conversation here tonight. But I know you've had some swatting incidents. Did you see this Romanian man or whatever pled guilty to swatting U.S. officials and all that stuff?
I was just looking at that.
This guy, he was in Romania, pleaded guilty to felonies after he made false reports to elicit tactical police responses known as swatting against former U.S. president, several members of Congress, federal judges, and state officials. I mean, they went for big targets there, but everything else, it's...
I mean, a 14-year-old in Virginia was able to swat me twice in 12 hours. So, I mean, imagine what an adult is capable of.
You got attacked by an 8th grader?
Yeah. And I don't know whatever happened to him. I think they arrested him, but I don't know what his punishment was. I guess he lost his paper route.
Jeez. Did you ever learn anything about, like, did you ever see anything about them, like what they were tweeting, what the hell the motivation was?
No, maybe at the time a little bit. Like, other people were looking into it too, but I remember the cops, like, when they finally followed up, they're like, yeah, it's this 14-year-old kid. And I was like, damn.
It's just crazy stuff.
Did anything happen to him?
I don't know.
Why did he swat you?
Because he didn't like that I had the Steel Toe Morning Show folks on my show. I had them on, I think I had them on once. I think I had them on maybe twice. Yeah, because then I got swatted, and then I tried to have them on the next day, like the next morning, and then got swatted again.
Insane.
Yeah.
God knows what you said. But then again, your comedy has disrupted international diplomacy in Asia before.
Yeah, so. Malaysia, they hate me over there for sure.
How far across the world have you made some kind of have you had anything like that happen yet?
I mean, India, that's it.
That's it.
India.
Indians hate her.
I mean, that's 1 billion people right there.
I'm at war with the whole subcontinent of India.
Just nuts.
Are you allowed over there?
If
Probably
I
not.
became like a chancellor, I mean, that would be the first place I would destroy.
You know, they were just about it got heated there for a little bit.
Well, I was rooting for Pakistan.
That could have been a big problem there. Hey,
a big problem or a big solution?
It would have been a big mess one way or another.
Oh no! Who will scam our grandparents out of their whole retirement?
Did you see the 30 or however the 30,000 slaves that were actually charged with doing that stuff? Like, there are people enslaved.
Wow.
And it's like Southeast Asia, somewhere out there.
I tell people, India is a horrible place. It is the worst place on earth. People
are just starting to realize.
And then they're all coming over here, bringing their shit over here. No way, man. No way. People need to stop being all like, everyone's equal. We're not all equal, okay?
And that's fine.
And that is totally fine, but, destroy India. That's what I say.
Wow.
And people can admit that not all animals are equal or
Yeah.
have equal capacities.
Yeah, but somehow when it comes to humans, uh-oh. Okay, have fun in your little third world slum. Why don't you go live in Brazil, where it's like a mixed hodgepodge of everything?
It is. It's just it's one of those delicate subjects these days, especially because we're always talking about immigration. I've been saying for a long time, me in particular, I don't really care where anybody comes from as long as there's some kind of assimilation.
Yep.
Give a shit. That we're talking about generations of just that being out the window. So I've always said, the first thing we need to do is say nobody comes in for at least 10 to 15 years.
Yeah.
And that's only if you have anybody on the inside that's worth a shit that actually wants to do something to correct what we have going on in the interior. But I don't think anybody should be let back in.
People are just going to have to face the reality that what you're talking about isn't going to happen. Because America was built on WASP culture, and I'm not WASP, but traditionally it's European, white, Anglo-Saxon, Protestant culture that built it. Okay, so when you're talking about assimilating, you're talking about assimilating into a European culture. Well, what do you know? Non-Europeans can't seem to do it. What a shock. It's not going to happen. It would be like, you take a bunch of Europeans and you put them in Africa and you go, okay, you assimilate into African culture. Now we want
and
you to live.
Burn right away.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. So this is all because people don't want to deal with the race as a reality. Oh, it's a social construct. Okay, it's a social construct. Sure. Where did the social construct come from? Everything that they say is a social construct. Where did it come from? Chicken or egg situation. What do you think? There was just some, cavemen sitting around one day who were like, "We're gonna make this thing up that has nothing to do with anything."
Yeah.
So it's not going people, and this is what I'm talking about, where the window of what you're allowed to talk about is still so narrow. You can't talk about race reality because you immediately get labeled as a bigot and a hateful person. And you're like, actually, this is the most loving thing I can do is to tell you the truth so we can start to fix all the problems that are fucking everyone over.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that even if things like that were fixed, the biggest problem we have, we always talk about it on this show, is that we are completely federal government focused, and that is not supposed to be the way it is. And that is for the reason because even if this was largely a waspy European kind of a union, you are talking about 50 different states, 50 different regions, 50 different regional cultures, everything else. That is why there was so much independence for states to be established. So the centralization of everything is just bad in it of itself, only because there's no way that anybody, no matter what where their ancestors came from, would be able to tell a person 1,500 miles away what's most appropriate for their life in that location. It has to be decentralized and more localized. So already one size fits all never fits well. But then when you bring in to that central bullshit, all of this multiculturalism stuff, where there's not even anything that is keeping people together on the most basic foundational levels, then it becomes a dogfight for at least 51% of perceived consent, so that people can just be raked over the coals, and it is full of resentment and hate, and it is charged by these ridiculously concocted gender wars and race wars and all these things about, wiping out past injustices that are hundreds of years old. I mean, we are in the middle of I don't know, it's a tinderbox scenario, and it's all because our country doesn't function the way it was designed. It's all nonsense. So that's where I start gravitating toward the black pill sometimes. I have to pull myself back and find something hopeful to think about, because how the hell are you going to do that? I mean, we need...
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, look at even Colorado, how liberal that's become. What they
allow. It goes to shit, by the way. By the way, every time a place becomes quote unquote liberal, the party of freedom, it just deteriorates into complete trash.
The chance that you will lose your kids goes up exponentially. And even in Tennessee, I think, was it the mayor was actively thwarting ICE, just blocking ICE from doing their job.
Yep.
That's
a crime. In Nashville?
Yeah, I think it was
fuck Nashville,
the female mayor or something.
I hope Nashville burns to the ground. I hate Nashville so much.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Well, it's nuts. It's one of those things where you realize that inside of every even garnet red state, there's anything that beyond a town is going to just, I don't know. It just goes that way. Culturally, it just goes that way. That's why many of our founders loathed cities, and and there you have it. But there's so much happening that I think is really fun. And you guys help put a nice little spin on things.
Great transition.
Let's
do a little prayer over Frank's YouTube channel.
Fuck it, whatever. I have questions from the audience, though. Ooh. I mean, there's a few things. Here you go. People on Discord want to know if you guys could power rank the following banned words. Okay.
Okay, well, I thought we were being asked to rank races. I got excited for a minute.
How can you, if you're going to power rank it?
What does that mean? What's the most powerful of the words?
Yeah, if you're talking about, I guess, shock value, everything else, forbiddenness, you have R, N, bundle of sticks, and C.
R? All right.
N is at the top. N is at the top.
N is at the top.
Yeah. N has to be at the top.
R is at the bottom now.
Yeah, that's very colloquially colloquially accepted at this point.
C still shocks and disgusts a lot of people.
Yeah, but just women.
Why is that? Because people say pussy
Because
all the
they
time.
are. Because I think if you are one, you're offended by the word.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yes. Because it's not as glorified as saying, like bad bitch or something like that.
It's the same kind of, well, if a man were exhibiting these same qualities, you'd say he's a powerful boss or he's a leader.
A douche. No, you say a douchebag.
But these women,
all right,
they'll say that sort of
okay,
thing.
and then I guess bundle of sticks is like what, third?
Yeah, I'd say it's third.
That upsets white women, allies.
Mostly.
Yeah.
I've said that word so many times, it doesn't upset anybody.
You know what? Most of all the gay guys I know, they say faggot liberally.
Yeah.
Liberally. And a lot of them are liberal. And it's so, and here's the thing. I thought that this was hilarious today. I saw that on ESPN, this link was going around. Wake Forest has a baseball coach who had to apologize for an apparent anti-gay slur.
Oh, shut up.
Gay people don't even watch baseball.
Listen, I had to go into 4 articles. I was like, what did he say? I want to know what he said. I couldn't find it. All right. But here's the apology, and then I'll get into it. He says, I'm very sorry for my outburst and frustration last night, and I recognize the hurt and disappointment it has caused. I own the consequences, and I apologize. Don't you want to throw up?
Shut up, dude. Stop apologizing. First of all, gay people shouldn't have any rights. Okay? I don't understand this. Oh, you like to pound another man in the ass, and now we're going to say, no. You are going to be in the dregs of society. You have no rights. You have no say about how anything goes. You're going to shut up and, stick about. Also, weren't they just so busy fucking each other? When did gay dudes all of a sudden get interested in the way that our society is sculpted and what kids get to read and be exposed to?
True. They're not having kids.
I'll tell you.
I mean, they're buying them.
I'll tell you, there is not. It's one of those things that really I hate to see it, because there's plenty of gay people who are always like pissed off at what is being made of all this, especially with schools and shit like that. They have no interest in any of this stuff. But there is now rising to the top is something so much more insidious, and it's taken everybody along for the ride. And because there's no check on it. Because how can you ever put a governor on freedom? Where it's a civil rights issue, one thing or another, whatever the hell it is, always goes way too far. Because how can you ever stop?
Because civil rights is fake. That's why.
Civil rights is
fucking
ploy.
Fake. The whole thing was just about dismantling the white hegemonic power that was ruling over America. That's what it was about. It's actually unconstitutional. How are you going to tell people that they have to associate with other groups of people? Since the freedom of association is one of the protected rights. Out the window.
Well, I guess they were able to, like, through the corporations, like in hiring practices, they can enforce that, right?
They're not even just doing it there. They did it in neighborhoods of, in Boston, where the Irish parents were super racist. Shout out Boston. They forced them at gunpoint to bring their kids to school with minority children for the mission of ending racism.
Did it work?
So, no, all they did was end up leaving, and now all of Boston is like totally trashed. I was up there. There was a Brazilians up there. I was like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And so all of it is bullshit, dude. Wow. And this is where you see, like, people don't understand this because they're so brainwashed and they fail to think for themselves. Nobody critically thinks. Like, you have this tyrannical force that is saying, we're gonna make you love and be kind to these people, even if we have to kill you to do it. And you're like, yeah, that's called evil.
Yeah.
Evil always disguises itself in the robes of good.
True.
Integration should never be done in a forced way. It just doesn't.
What's the motivation of the people who are doing that, right? It's for votes, or
it's for more than that.
Money.
It's a lot more than that, because money is obviously going to come along with it. But when you're plotting very patiently and meticulously down the line to destroy and dismantle a country, a company, some kind of a tradition, whatever it is that you want to destroy, in some kind of a, well, it always turns violent, but at first in some kind of a, I don't know.
Can we say it on this show?
What?
It's the Jews trying to dismantle the white race. That's it. That's what it is. It's real simple.
We'll say some Jews. How can I make this better?
Just look it up. Look it up. They want a Negroid Eurasian race mix that they believe is easier to rule over. That's what it is. That's what it is.
The Kalergi plan?
The Kalergi plan.
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be.
That's how you say it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been saying
but
it
you
wrong
gotta
all
have
these
your
years.
you gotta have your head in the sand. I mean, why is it only Western European countries that are being forced to take in migrants from the Middle East,
True.
from Africa, from India? Every non-white immigrant is being pushed into every white country, being given every resource that white people have been building over the last, 200, 300 years.
Taking away from the OG minorities even.
Yep. Electing them to rule over these people. And
Like Minnesota.
Minnesota, I mean, England has had a Pakistani prime minister. Excuse me, when did Pakistan ever have a British governor?
All the people in charge of the UK are like Indian of some kind or Muslim.
You're like, okay, first of all, these people coming from India have a collective IQ of 75. You think they're going to be intelligent enough to organize themselves and get themselves in this position? And how would they do that unless there was somebody in the inside unlocking the door?
What about silver linings? Is there anything where, like, for example, in the lead up to the last election, you want to talk about Minnesota, you want to talk about a lot of the Chicago, a lot of black communities in Chicago. That is where a lot of people started realizing, holy shit, we were once prioritized for political reasons, because of course, even when you talk about OG black Americans who have been here longer than most people, they were politically held down to be used as pawns that can go on and on forever and never really achieve beyond what would liberate them from the system. And now suddenly they're not really prioritized anymore, and they look around their neighborhoods and they see all these new arrivals from the southern border, and they started getting rightfully pissed off about it. I thought that was a wonderful silver lining to maybe put two and two together, that they were being used in the same way, and now they're old news, and maybe that feeling of being expendable at for the sake of some kind of a destructive bigger motive.
Yeah, if it helps people wake up.
I thought that was a silver lining.
What happened after that?
Well,
nothing.
Nothing. To be
This
honest,
is why you understand. This is why Jews don't fear black people. They're not going to be able to do anything. They're used as a bioweapon for certain objectives, and then once that's done, they get discarded. I mean, the same thing happened in Russia with the Bolsheviks. They used the Muslim minorities there to say, oh, you're being so unfairly treated in this Orthodox Christian-dominated society. And then once they got what they wanted, where they overthrew, the czar, they just disposed of the Muslims. Done. Put them in camps too. So, you're not going to get through to black people because they have such an intense racial hatred of white people. And they really don't want to see past that. They like feeling like victims. They feed off of this resentment. So that's not your hope. It's just not going to happen.
Do you see? I mean, you were just sitting down with the Hodge twins.
They're half black.
Oh,
They're what my grandma would refer to as black but nice.
Though that's a very small percentage. You're talking about conservative black people. Conservative black people are such a small
There's
minority.
like 10 of them.
And nobody in the black community listens to them because their minds are so poisoned by these race hustlers like Al Sharpton and whatever the other guys.
Jasmine Crockett.
They just poison and feed them that. And so they see anybody like that as Uncle Toms. Mm-hmm. They call them Uncle Toms, house slaves, and
they're acting white or whatever.
They do it with Candace Owens so they can discredit anything they're saying without listening. They don't realize the Chinese finger trap that they're in.
Yeah. I mean, they would. I always wonder about where did it all go. That's why I think that the federal government is such a great thing to just have dismantled or become insolvent in some way, because Oh, I would much rather this just be.
It's the Federal Reserve Bank, really, that you need destroyed. That's the thing. But that's not going to happen.
No,
there's no more
I don't
gold.
think so. Well, listen, right now, I wonder about the whole Cloward Piven operation to, just we're almost at $50 trillion worth of debt.
Wow.
50 trillion.
Right. Here's the great question that nobody asks. Who do we owe all this money to?
And
China?
The
Jews.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding. It's the Rothschilds.
Hey.
Rothschilds are the ones who
It's multiple choice, but it's not.
Definitely, if Leonarda was going to have like a bobblehead, like a talking bobblehead doll, like it's always fun to think about what would be like the 3 or 4 phrases that would be on your doll. Like it'd be like the Jews.
You should make yourself an action figure or something like that.
Yes. Oh
There's
my
a lot of them
god.
coming
just
out.
you pull the string.
Yeah, the Jews.
Oh man.
What's the question that no one wants to ask?
13% of the population, 65% of violent crime.
I should have said the whole rosary.
India stinks.
The Ganges, swimming in the Ganges. Oh, can you imagine calling that a holy river?
Yeah.
That's not right.
Because
Okay,
people put their holes in there.
all
They
of them.
wash their holes.
Oh,
in
and corpses.
India doesn't make sense. India does not make sense unless you believe in the devil and you think he lives there. That's when India makes sense.
Do you have a lot of Indian listeners, Frank?
Not now. Not now. In fact, like I
if
said,
they're listening to you from America and they're here because they know it sucks.
I only have a little bit. I have a basic understanding of the old Indian caste system and all that stuff, but other than that, all I really needed to know as a child about that land was from the Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. I saw
Dr. Jones.
when I watched that.
No time for love.
I said nope. No, when I saw what everybody was eating, and I saw the flies on everybody, I said I'm not.
The people in the West, they have such a fake idea of India because you had all these Hindu gurus who started coming over here like the turn of the century and then really ramped it up in the 60s with the hippies.
And then the yoga people.
And you guys can look this up. Every single Indian guru who's ever come to the West has some kind of sex scandal cult
Bikram
connected to them.
Chowdhury, the guy in charge of Bikram Yoga.
Oh, that?
big sex fiend.
what?
Sex pest.
Osho,
Yeah.
Osho that they love to advocate. Now they got the new one, Sadhguru, who killed his wife so he could marry his yoga mistress. They're all embroiled in some kind of scandalous sex cult, and they're all gross. But they come here and they want to sell you some bullshit spirituality, and they successfully dismantled the Christian hold on the boomers' mind, and that's why boomers are like everything's about spirituality, and they just completely and then so when you do that, you can do whatever you want with the population.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. I see that a lot. I've seen it a lot. I've heard it all. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. What the hell is that?
What does that mean?
I love that line. I love that line. I don't know.
Because why? Because it's been peppered into your brain repeatedly that being religious, aka makes you a bigot, makes you a bad person. So to prove that you're a good person, you're going to say, I'm spiritual. I'm tolerant. Yeah, you could have a gay pride parade right in front of my son. Go ahead.
But also being religious, or following Christianity, it means you're now responsible for your actions. Whereas if you're just spiritual, there's more wiggle room.
Well, if you're just spiritual, there's no code of behavior that you're failing to live up to. Everything's okay because everything's a learning thing. Everything's about you're learning how to not do the thing that you already know you're not supposed to do.
Yeah, it's relativism. There is no universal truth.
Right.
There is your truth, and then
everything else is downstream of that. There is no race. There is no difference between people. Men and women are exactly the same. They should be doing exactly the same things. Like, there's no point to having kids. The world is overpopulated. Just kill yourselves and chop your dicks off before you go. Like, that's where we're at.
You know what's crazy? Everybody's starting to realize, oh shit, this whole the world is overpopulated thing is nonsense, and actually we are less and less. Europeans are less and less every day.
Yeah,
and now everybody's trying like hell to squeeze out a couple more kids, and they're realizing, oh shit, I don't have any sperm left. Like there's something going on, like the biochemically.
Frank, I'm sure you've got a few more rounds. Well, after the show's over, we'll see what's in there.
That's it. I'm talking about the overall sperm crisis. It's just,
fertility rates are down, way down.
It's like after college when I said I'm going to grow my hair out,
right?
And then I realized, I don't have any hair, and or it's all going to go away. And now I think collectively, everybody's like, you know what? We better start getting some babies made. And people are realizing, both men and women, that everybody's having problems.
And also, like, if people could learn, like, your 20s are not for, like, it's not a decade you can just fuck around for the whole.
That's what they told us.
Yeah, that's what they told us. That's what Sex and the City told us, that our 20s and our 30s were for fucking around.
Which is insane, because what you have to show at the end of that is nothing. Is nothing. And I'm, speaking as somebody, I didn't like go in there like I'm going to fuck around for my 20s, but I didn't have a plan. And because I was told, like, if you have a plan or if you want to get married and have kids, you're bad.
Right. You're
that's
a loser.
Not cool.
Yeah, you're settling. That's not cool. Living up to your potential. You're not being
going
smart.
out. So you go out, you go to the clubs, you get drunk, you're hungover, you're spending money that you really don't have, and then you're doing that week in, week out, and then 10 years go by and you got nothing.
That's the thing. And you're still hooking up with people. You're still having, it's a lower quality person because your mind is not focused on finding a forever partner or a ride or die. So you're messing around with like a lesser dude. Whereas if your morals were shifted to like, no, you're only gonna be fucking around people that you're gonna be marrying. Guess what? You're gonna be picking a better dude. Yeah, and you're saving yourself so much time.
Well, guess what? I have something here that we can go through if you want, maybe in the second half. That Chrissie, I told you about it last time you were here. It was this study. It's really interesting too, because the guy that did this is not religious. His name was, I covered this maybe twice over the last 12 years because I think it's just so interesting. His name is J.D. Unwin. He's an anthropologist, Oxford social anthropologist. And he went through, he did a study on why sexual morality may actually be far more important than we ever thought. And it's so interesting. You guys want me to go through it right now, actually?
Yeah, let's do it.
The science of hoeing.
This is interesting, okay? Listen to this. Sex and Culture is what he had written. This was years ago. 600-page book. I got this on State
Too long.
Yeah, I know. But what he found was repeatedly reminded the thought that he had let me see here. Unwin examined the data from 86 societies and civilizations to see if there is a relationship between sexual freedom and the flourishing of cultures. What makes the book especially interesting is that we in the West underwent a sexual revolution in the late 1960s, 70s, and 80s, are now in a position to test the conclusion he arrived at more than 40 years earlier. And this is pretty crazy. So here's what he did. He created categories, 4 categories, great patterns of human culture and degrees. Okay, so the primary criterion for classification was how they related to the natural world. Let me put this up here. I'll get the hell out of the way. There you go. So you have a zoistic. This is entirely self-focused on day-to-day life, wants and needs with no interest in understanding nature. Okay, it's described as a dead culture or inert, which I think that we're actually almost there. Monistic, acquires superstitions, beliefs, and are special. Deistic, attributes power of nature to God or gods. Rationalistic, using rational thinking to understand nature. And then the degrees of sexual constraint. You have complete sexual freedom.
That's where we are.
That's where we are right now. Irregular or occasional restraint. That's cultural regulations require an occasional period of abstinence.
That's pulling out.
Yeah. And then there's strict chastity. That's remain a virgin until married. So, and then you have postnuptial categories. Modified monogamy, that's one spouse at a time, but it's okay. Modified polygamy, men can have more than one wife, but a wife is free to leave her husband. Absolute monogamy, that's only one spouse permitted for life until death. And then absolute polygamy, men can have more than one wife, but wives must confine their sexual qualities to their husband for the whole of their lives.
Wow. Imagine what our society would look like under absolute monogamy.
Oh, well, I mean, this is the whole thing here. And now here's what he found. The effect of sexual constraints, increased sexual constraints, either pre or postnuptial, always led to increased flourishing of a culture. Conversely, increased sexual freedom always led to the collapse of a culture 3 generations later.
Oh, here we are for 3 generations.
3 generations.
Because look, our grandparents didn't do this shit. Again,
right.
it's the boomers' fault.
Single most influential factor. Surprisingly, the data revealed that the single most important correlation with the flourishing of a culture was whether prenuptial chastity was required or not. It had a very significant effect either way. Highest flourishing of culture, most powerful combination was prenuptial chastity coupled with absolute monogamy. The rationalist cultures that retained this combination for at least 3 generations exceeded all other cultures in every area, including literature, art, science, furniture, architecture, engineering, and agriculture. So essentially what they're doing is they're putting focused sexual energy into actually creating things.
That is so true, because when I look at about like when I was single, I accomplished nothing, like nothing in my career, like one day job to the next. Comedy, I was not focused, because being single just takes up all of your headspace.
Yeah, and you don't have a stability that makes you feel like you can do things. You know?
And here you have here's a couple more.
Let's see that total sexual freedom thing. What does that say?
Okay, let's see here. Hold on. I know you guys are looking at it on the delay. Let's see here. Effective abandoning prenuptial chastity. When strict prenuptial chastity was no longer the norm, absolute monogamy, deism, and rational thinking also disappeared within 3 generations. And then here, total sexual freedom. If total sexual freedom was embraced by a culture, that culture collapsed within 3 generations to the lowest state of flourishing, which Unwin described as inert and at a dead level of conception, and is characterized by people who have little interest in much else other than their own wants and needs. At this level, the culture is usually conquered or taken over by another culture with greater social energy.
There you go. And now you understand why the Israelis were dropping porn on the Palestinians. They dropped porn. They were portraying it on the TVs. And guess when porn started to flourish here? In the 70s. That's correct.
I mean, so you say 3 generations from the 60s, 70s, 80s, we are sitting right on the delivery date.
It says it took about approximately 33 years.
Yeah, let me see. Unwin published his findings in 1936, long before the sexual revolution that occurred in the West. We now have an opportunity to test his conclusions by observing our own culture is following the prediction pattern. Unwin's generation appears to be approximately 33 years, so it should take about a century for us to see the cultural changes that take full effect, but we are far enough along in the process that we should be able to observe certain predictions. So if he's talking 33 years, that's 99 years plus 1960, call it. So we're talking about, I don't know, we're on our way to 2060. Right now we're at 2025, and
we're already there.
You know what? But here's one thing I always say. What do you guys say to this? If you look at the cycles of societies that have come and gone in the past, the one X factor I always give us right now, that perhaps we do have to go through some kind of a collapse, and of course we need something to collapse in order for us to be truly reborn in our station here. But we have communication. We have communication that nobody else has had. And what Leonarda is talking about tonight is actually the only reason why I think that there is any kind of a loosening of the tie is because we don't have everybody watching the 4 same television shows for news anymore. And we're all able to serve each other our own comedy programming or talk programming or whatever else. And we've been able to find each other. And I think we actually have a foothold that should make our outcome a little bit more unpredictable than other times as civilizations have collapsed. I just think...
True.
I think that's an X factor. A silver lining.
Yeah.
An X factor.
Yeah, well, I don't serve black pills. I don't believe in them. I don't believe in them because then then they win. Like, you've just taken yourself out of the fight. You know, I think people should fight until the last breath.
Yeah, hope over black pills, always.
Yeah, and if, take some suckers. You're going to go out, take some suckers out with you, dude. Make it hard. You know, when they want to come get your guns, make them work for it. Okay, so let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're taking your calls, we're reading your super chats and all that stuff. It's great. I'm going to say the second half of the rosary during the break, and when we come back, all will be well. All right, guys and gals, don't go.
ride. Chrissie, I know that you couldn't see that because I don't have a real-time monitor in the studio right now. We just have one on delay. But that was, I have a couple of Playland. I have a Playland intermission now. And especially the end credits tonight. We have 2 new throwback Playland end credits.
Are they fixing it? Does anybody care about Playland anymore?
Something happened. I forgot. I heard some drama going on where they had a, I don't know, whoever owned Playland wants to get rid of it. They weren't ready for May Day and all that other stuff. So I think it's open now, but I don't know. It's
not
nobody
good.
goes. Nobody goes. I went to Playland 3 times last year for the first time in maybe 15 years, just because I wanted Aurora to ride on the Kittyland rides.
Yeah, it's cute.
She loved it. But on a Friday night, Chrissie, there's nobody there.
Damn.
It was weird.
But we went, I think, last summer, and so much of the rides were closed. It was like, what was the point?
Yeah, I know. There's a lot. Okay, let's see here. Going into the super chats. First one. So, Hello Kitty says, by the way, I just found out I am Irish, half Irish and half Ashkenazi Jew. Therefore, I am allowed to make fun of everyone. Yes, you are given certain allowances. That's sure, for sure. Case Max McDonald says, Leonarda and Chrissie, did you both grow up in large families? More than 2 kids? Did you see the positive in that? Oh, well, let's just start with the first question. Did you guys grow up in large families? How many siblings did you have?
I didn't feel like I had a large family despite being one of 3 kids, because it was just like we weren't around cousins. There weren't a lot of like family friends. We lived real close to my uncle, but they didn't have any kids. So it just felt small. Like holidays always felt real small. It was like and we weren't really doing much on my dad's side of the family. So it was always just us 3 kids and then grandma and grandpa on mom's side. And that was it.
Wow. Is that because of like drama? Like,
I think my dad's dad used to beat the shit out of him on the regular. And like after my dad died, my uncle said something like, and oh my God, the coping. But you know what? He German. And also, have I told you this? My grandfather, my dad's dad was a Mooney. Like that's a straight up cult. He was in the Mooney cult.
I didn't know
he
that.
divorced my dad's mom, like my grandmother, and participated in a mass wedding, married a random Asian chick.
Jeez.
And with a bunch of other people marrying, and he gave a lot of the money to this Mooney cult, to the point where even as I remember I just never met him, but he died when I was in high school. But
Chrissie, you've got a very interesting past.
He would ask hit up my dad for money constantly.
Damn.
For this cult.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's a cult.
So that's
involved.
why we were not really too friendly with my dad's side of the family. But now after he's dead, I see my aunt and uncle way more. My dad had a brother and a sister, and I see them not all the time, because his sister and their kids, they live in Maryland, and then his brother, they live in upstate New York. But we've gotten together since he's died, far more often, for the baby's birthday, the baby's baptism. I see them a few times a year now, I would never see them before that. So I think, my parents weren't really planners, and then the Pellegrinos there, they like to have people over, and there's more of a hosting vibe.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. At least you're getting a little something that you didn't have before, and at least the baby's going to have something that you didn't have too. That's great.
Yeah.
Well then, okay, Leonarda, what about you? How big was the family?
It was kind of similar to Chrissie's, but we definitely had a lot more relative interactions. When I was younger, that we'd always be having, how our Albanians are. It's they're like, oh, we're going to have a small dinner. There's 50 people there.
Aww.
So, yeah, that was nice. But then everybody kind of splintered away. There is a real spirit of disharmony these days, I think, that really just drives people apart. And I do think it's because we're in the end times. That's what I think. So,
but also it's been publicized, it's been promoted, glamorized, that you are to write off people in your family who are of different political beliefs than you.
Yeah, but it's not even political. This is
anything.
Old world petty shit, envy and jealousy and backbiting, all that shit. That's just I'm sorry that you're inferior to me, but I'm not trying to make you feel bad about it. That's your own feeling.
Right. Not everyone can piss off all of India.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know. That's a talent right in itself.
Not everyone can tweet the hard R and get death threats.
I have that a lot. We missed out on a lot of really good, what could have been good years of family gatherings, but somebody was placed at the wrong spot at a wedding.
So stupid.
Somebody got the wrong seat at a wedding, and that whole branch just doesn't. They feel slighted.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, this weird shit like that happens. People fighting over all types of cheap family heirlooms, and
wow.
And then who really suffers? The kids. They don't see their cousins.
Yep.
And and that sucks. Well, how do you relate it to the end times? Is it? Are you thinking big picture end times?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that connect down to the family unit?
Because they talk about it in the Bible, where there's going to be, disintegration of families and people just fighting and everything just getting worse and worse. There's like a whole deterioration. They can't explain this stuff. Like, all the fish you see washing up on shore, the seas being poisoned. All of this stuff to me speaks of a general demise, and we have a different understanding. Like science and the Bible have a totally different understanding of the world. Science keeps talking about everything evolving, and then there's this idea of improvement in there. The Bible says everything is getting worse. So we started at this peak, world that God made perfect and whole, and then we have the falling of Adam and Eve, and then from there's constant disintegration. And if the Bible's true, then that's true, because you had Noah living almost 1,000 years. And then right after him, Moses, it's like 150 years maximum. Well, I think 120 years maximum.
But how good are you really going to look at 1,000 years old?
But it's interesting. They found those Sumerian tablets, and the Sumerian tablets were documenting how long each of the kings ruled. And they were like 400 years, 500 years, 600 years. And it lines up perfectly with the Bible. So, and then you go around and you see all these ancient monuments around the world, right? Everywhere. You've got that crazy wall that's in Machu Picchu that has like 12, no, it's a 12 angle stone where the stones fit in perfectly. And you see things like this all around the world, this kind of crazy, amazing architecture and design. And then you compare it to the brutalism that we have, and you go,
it's hideous.
Yeah, everything is disintegrating.
Oh yeah, and the acceleration of it all is very. We're talking about like an 80-year acceleration, though.
Now, yeah, in the last, because I think it's like exponential. It just goes to an exponential level.
Yeah.
Plus, think about this. I highly doubt they had 1.4 billion Indians in the Bible times.
If they had that back there, this would have been completely different. It would have been game over a long time ago.
So just the explosion of the Indian population should let you know that we're in a devolution.
Well, since you brought it up earlier, and then all along the way, we're just starting June, so some people are going to just diddle themselves to Pride Month all
fantastic
for the next
Excellent.
couple of weeks. But it just gets back. You talk about taking something from one point, the starting point, and then are we looking at evolving upward, or are we seeing some kind of a devolution? And for anybody to make the assessment and actually propose that it is normal for 1/5 to close to 1/4 of any generation to think that they are something other than straight.
Yeah.
That is not
That's
nature.
the result of propaganda.
That is nurture.
Yeah.
That's something that's nurtured. And if
look at JoJo Siwa, she claimed to be lesbian, then bi, then non-binary, and once she got a whiff of what's his face's armpit, she's suddenly straight again.
No, that was because what's his name, Mickey Rourke, called her a fag.
That helped. That helped for sure.
I think we should shame people again, man.
shank.
Shame.
Oh, I was going to say shanking.
Shank.
Yeah, shame and shank.
Shanking happens all the time. But what I was going to say is, if we go back 1,500, 3,000, 4,000 years, and we apply this rule that it is normal for 1/4 of every generation to think that they can be part animal and everything else, and whatever is staring back at them in the mirror is not real, and it's all subjective and shit like that, we would have never made it to even year zero.
First
it's
of
a
all,
distraction.
Lesbians are fake. They don't even exist. That's not even a real thing.
Is that real?
They just
They're not
really
real.
love Home Depot.
Yeah, lesbians. You probably have like one real lesbian for every 1,000 women that claim they're lesbians. Okay?
What would the real? I wish some of our real lesbian
makes a real
viewers can call in.
lesbian?
I can set up a lesbian line.
Set up a lesbian line.
Lesbians
Okay.
call in now.
right.
Most lesbians have either been physically or sexually abused by a male in their life. And I think it's like something like 70% of gay dudes have gotten molested or were
So sad.
yeah, and it's just, and I think the other 30% just forgot. So
Well, we've talked
Or they
about
want to
that.
be trendy.
We've talked about that a lot. There is you want to talk about
that's why they're trying to get to the kids, because you have to nurture the gay. That it doesn't come out of nature.
that falls under the category of talking about crime statistics and other things.
Yeah.
Where you know, it doesn't have to be. I always say it's not. It's one of those situations right now where there's so much propaganda propping up this worldview
Yeah.
that they're forcing people to be unpolite about it.
Well, I'm
Leonarda-
sorry, but let's just
Leonarda, what would you say then to people who counter the argument with what do you say about instances of like homosexuality in nature? You know what I mean? Like, what if somebody comes at you? Well, look at these dolphins fucking each other. Look at these groundhogs licking each other's assholes. What do you say for that? That's not propaganda.
Well, there's an explanation too for that. You know,
They're sick.
They're sick in the head, and here's the thing: if you don't have a worldview that's rooted in a spiritual explanation of the world, then you can make up all this other shit and make it make sense, right? But there's two things. Even if we want to go that way, just because something happens in nature, does that mean it's good and we should encourage it? You know, in
Right, that's
nature,
true.
some of the
There are
animals
defects.
kill their own babies because something goes wrong with them. Like
I
that.
feel bad for those little chicks.
Yeah.
You know, that happens, right? So should we then allow
Like,
Casey
promote that?
Anthony to go
Yeah.
free because this is what happens? So
True.
first of
Good
all,
point.
the Christian worldview is that when the world fell, you know, when Adam and Eve fell, the world fell with them, including animals. And that marks how they behave with one another. And that includes stuff like homosexuality. And the other thing that I'll say is, you know, this is the false compassion of the liberal, right? They're like, oh, I love you and I accept you. And it's like, that's easy for you when you don't have anything on the line.
Right.
But if that was your son who's getting his asshole rammed every night so that then he's got to wear a diaper by the time he's 25, would you say, I love you and I accept you? Or would you pray every day for him
For
to
his asshole.
for his asshole? And if you knew that it was because your son was molested at a young age and now he's so traumatized that he has to reenact this to himself, you would do everything in your power to help them heal, truly heal. Not because you're anti-gay and you're afraid of how it makes you feel and how's it going to look to people. It's like, no, because you have pure love for that human being and you want them to live in a way that is actually healthy and good for them. And getting your asshole rammed every night is not the way.
It's not, and plus you got to watch what you eat if you're doing that sort of thing.
Well, like I was saying before, the trauma aspect in a lot of this stuff is completely overlooked.
Of course.
It comes, and just like we were saying before with any other hot button issue as far as, you know, what you're not allowed to talk about. Trauma versus I was born this way. For a number of things, anything. We are a highly traumatized world,
Yeah.
especially now that how media, for all the good that it's doing, the silver linings that it provides us with, it is also a mass delivery unit for trauma. I mean, 2020, I don't know how many times we categorized what we were living through in 2020 as just being a catatonic shock across the board. Like people were walking around like fucking zombies.
I know.
Yeah.
And a lot of that trauma has been completely unrealized still. It has not been really processed. And there's no real, and when you talk about MK
No one's
Ultra,
accountable. No one's apologizing.
Yeah.
That's just the latest iteration. I mean, how about 9/11? That was a horror. How about Pearl Harbor? How about every world war? How about, all of these things that are perpetuated on us by people who then try to sell us the solution, which is always a loss of more of your freedom, more of your rights. It's epic gaslighting. and people feeling totally helpless because they can't identify the single person or persons who are responsible. It's all hidden behind this anonymous machine.
Well, let's get a couple of super chats in. Then I want to actually take some calls. The calls are starting to come in, and the line is open. It's 914.
Good. It better be lesbians.
200-0269. And then I'm going to, lesbian line will be open.
What's the lesbian
The
line?
lesbian line I
It's
have
just the number
open.
to Home Depot.
Let's see here. Where is it? Where the hell is my... Wait a second. All right. The special hotline is 914-359-4853. That'll be the lesbian hotline. You want to call in and just say, hey, listen, I want to make a case for my personal situation. You can call in 914-359-4853. Other than that, everybody else call in 914-200-0269 and God help us all.
They really get their own line. Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take a call from the Netherlands. Go ahead, Netherlands. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hello. Hey,
Hello.
Yes, Netherlands. Kill the audio in the background, please. Thank you.
Oh, damn. It's going to take a second. I think I did it. There we go.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, I still hear you. 3.
Yes. Frank, man. Jesus. It's been listening
get to it.
for
Come on,
9
Netherlands.
Okay, come on. Okay, we're going to do some of the time. All right, 3, 2, 1. You're on the air. 3, 2, 1. Go ahead.
Hi, Frank. It's Patrick.
Patrick, how are you?
I'm not a lesbian, but I'm in my transition.
Not with that
right
attitude.
now.
Not with that attitude. Go. Okay, so you're in your transit. So what do you got for the guests,
Hey,
Patrick?
man, I appreciate it, guys. It's critical thinking. I love comics. I'm telling you what, especially you girls, it's amazing that the topics that you're right on with. And I forgot what I was going to say because you threw me off the lesbian thing. Let me think about
You
that.
said
Wait
it.
a minute. Let's see. Let's jog his memory.
What?
Is it about the end of days? Is it about what were you thinking of? Trying to jog your memory. No. Okay.
All right. Well, Patrick, when you think about it, call us back. Thank you so much. Let's take a call from Santino in Massachusetts. Go ahead, Santino.
Hey, this is no disrespect to you, Chrissy. You're a great kid. You know I love you. But this is the best guest right here
Oh,
you have
I
had
agree
on
with you.
in the history of your show, Leonarda, Jonie.
Oh, thank
I
you.
agree with you, sir.
King, this night has been marked on King's calendar for weeks now.
Wow.
He's been waiting for this.
I
night.
love this woman right here, Leonarda. I love you. I love your joke about your racist grandpa and how much you miss him. I am volunteering to be your replacement racist grandpa. I will do that
thank
for you.
you. I appreciate it. Can you just, when I call you at night, can you just say the N-word to put me to sleep?
That's it.
What, nigga?
Stop that. All right. All right.
Hell yeah, that's
All
my
right.
racist
Hey,
grandpa.
all right, wait a minute.
No.
But I won't do it again.
Throw me a line
Leonarda,
here.
right? When you was with the Jig Twins, you wasn't nervous.
No. My fiance was right there.
Well, you know the old saying, right?
Oh, God.
The darker the berry, the lower the IQ.
That's my racist grandpa.
You can take that for your act, Leonarda.
Thank
Oh,
you.
good.
I'll
Take
give
it.
that to you. You can use that.
Wow, so
That
generous.
was me. Santino Spinelli wrote that just for
If you
Leonarda.
use it, I'll
Thank
use
you.
it.
Thank you, Santino. Have a good one tonight. Okay, let's take another call.
That guy's great.
406. Go ahead.
You have lost total control of the show.
Well,
Frank?
listen, I was only ever going to cast off tonight and say a prayer. So what do you got for us?
Well, listen, I usually call you from up on the top of a mountain in Montana.
Yes.
This is Maggie.
Good to hear from you
And
again.
yeah, Nathan's here too. But we are right now over on the east side of the Rockies in the Blackfeet Nation. We're working over here. And I am just, I was hoping I didn't call on the lesbian hotline, but
Nobody's called yet.
I feel like I am talking to my people. I think I'm a closet comedy writer, like when Nathan and I play on stage, I'm like the Tommy Smothers,
Got you.
But you guys were talking earlier about culture, and where we're at now, like where we're sitting right now in the Blackfeet Nation. It's all about culture, right? But you feel the world here trying to get in. And they're really bringing back culture that is just, thousands and thousands and thousands of years old, right here from this land. And you got to hear all the politics. You got to hear people using, people as agendas. We've all been used as agendas all my life. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And
we're subdivided. We're subdivided, and
So
it's
so crazy. And I have a question for the comedians, the comics, because I was going to suggest we have a comic Congress, but nothing could be funnier than what we have now, right? But do they ever, when they're doing their bits, see people in the audience that are completely uncomfortable?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have to imagine. Okay, well, who wants to start with that one?
Well, yeah, hopefully you trigger them to the point where it's caught on your camera and you can post it and it'll be a fun little viral video.
Right. And I think that's awesome. I was thinking about a quote, and I think it was attributed to Winston Churchill about appeasement. Like appeasement is feeding the crocodile, hoping you're the last one that it eats. I think about that when I think about this culture thing,
Yep.
because it's not doing anybody any good. And when I hear you guys talk about, the culture the way you do, making people feel uncomfortable is kind of bringing back that whole thought process that they're trying to get out of us for decades.
Yeah.
My whole life, like Frank kind of did it the other night. I was watching his video on him and Anthony at Metallica, and Frank said, "I've just seen a bunch of waddling boomers walking around," and I said, "I resemble that remark."
I resemble that remark.
But you don't want to insult people, but definitely wake them up. And I just think you gals are the best, and keep up what you're doing. And
well, thank you.
Thanks, Frank, for bringing it all to light. And I'm glad I called into the the Black Pill Bible study tonight.
Well, thank you, Maggie, for the call. It was good to hear from you. Have a good one, and send our best.
Bye.
All right, send our best to the husband. They are a musical duo out there, actually, up in the mountains.
I'm for insulting people.
I was about to say, we do want to insult people.
It's fun.
If you're retarded, you deserve to get insulted.
Now, if you see somebody really twisting in their seat, do you?
It depends. If I feel like it could go somewhere and I can make a point, but if I feel like it's just going to derail the show, then I don't.
Okay.
Like one time, my people generally know, but one time this guy brought his girlfriend and she was fat, and I was making all these jokes about fat people, and I just see her being like
seething.
So then finally, like
the
later,
butter was pouring out of her
she's
pores.
So angry, and I'm like, well, don't be fucking fat then, and you won't have to feel this way,
Right, it's in your control.
And and I was like, also, I was fat, so I can make fun of fat people all I fucking want. Dude.
How fat were you?
I got up to 200.
So fat, Frank.
Pretty fat. I showed her 237 pounds.
Are you seen the picture?
I've seen it.
She saw a picture of me when I wasn't even that fat. And it was still fat.
I'm in my fat phase right now. I'm on the come up though.
You just had a baby.
Yeah, but
that's different.
My excuse time is worn off.
How long is this excuse time, do you think?
I think you get a year, and then you got to start making moves.
And you're at 13 months?
Yeah.
Okay. I get you.
Otherwise, she's going to start being that woman in my show that's pissed off.
Yeah. I already am a pissed off fat person. Like I already see it starting to become part of my personality, and I don't like that. So
you become Goldie Hawn from Death Becomes Her. You remember that?
Yes.
Oh man, that's a good one. Oh, God help us tonight. Okay, let's see here. Can we get a couple of super chats before we get into all the calls that are coming in now? Max Meeks says, excellent show, excellent guests. JR says, I'm with Leonarda. No black pills or black people. Hello Kitty. Thank you, Hello Kitty. Case Max McDonald. Oh, okay. Did you grow up in large families? More like 2 kids. Did you see positives in that? I think you got that. Thank you, Case Max. For Leonarda and Chrissie, have you ever heard the term thick culture and thin culture? Does America have a thin culture, meaning eat a hot dog and buy a Bud Light and you're American, or German? Do Germans and Albanians have thick culture, more involved than that? I
would say classically, like the French have a thin culture.
They do?
Like, well,
so you guys understand
before
the difference?
The minorities took it over, but no, I would say America has a fat culture.
No, they're not talking about body size. They mean if the culture is deep rooted, then it's thick, like what we have.
Like, does America have a thin culture, meaning eat a hot dog and buy Bud Light and you're American?
That whole thing,
that didn't used to be.
Yeah, that's a propaganda that started in the, I want to say 70s, 60s, 70s, because that wasn't the case. There was a real American
culture is opportunity. It's
well, they were the pioneers. They had a traditional Christianity culture. Like America was steeped in European culture. It's just when they wanted to start changing the demographics, they started changing that too, making it all about going to sports ball, eating hot dogs, shopping. Like Christmas wasn't all about shopping before. America didn't have money like that.
Right.
Yeah. Well, we talk about that around Christmas time every day. And anytime you guys are in the area, you should just stop by the show. Just stop by whenever the hell you want. It's warm here in the wintertime.
It is.
It's very warm.
You had a great Christmas party.
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. Christmas party is fantastic over here. Let's see here. Hello, Kitty. Oh, my God. I love Leonarda Jonie. So sorry if I misspelled your name. My husband and myself first heard of you on the Twins podcast. Oh, there you go. Definitely. You've got a lot. That was a big spot.
Yeah, it was a big spot. Pretty cool.
Aren't you going to be on Timcast soon?
Yes. Wednesday. Tomorrow, I'm flying out.
Wow.
Yeah. And I'm doing Pop Culture Crisis before then in the afternoon. I don't know if it's a pre-tape or it's going to be live, but yeah.
Find a way to drop my name. Say, hey, Frank, quite frankly, says hi to him.
Oh, I want to get you on, and I want to get Leonarda on. Not like I have any say at all, but
Oh, no. Just say hi to him. That's all.
I will definitely bring you up until it's annoying.
It's all no. Oh, yeah, can you imagine that? How many times is Chrissie going to drop? Quite frankly, find a way to just move.
I'll be like, quite frankly, I think this point is moot that we're discussing.
Yes. Don't say anything about me or the show. Drop 3 quite franklys, and everybody else will know.
That's funny. Okay.
Don't mention me.
That's funny.
Just drop that. This is my marketing genius here.
That's so funny. And people like, oh, look at Chrissie trying to sound smart. Isn't that cute? Mm-hmm. It's going to work out. Yeah.
So bougie. Mm-hmm. Okay, Road Trip says, you don't put that much curry on meat unless the meat is rancid.
That's correct. Curry's got it. Ding, 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 ding.
Thank you. Jay Britt says, what a great show with my 2 favorite female non-PC comedians. Refreshing. I first saw Leonarda on Conservative Vibes channel recently. Great interview.
Well, thank you. Yes, I did an interview with them. You should go on that.
Conservative Vibes.
Yeah, I can get you his email.
Okay, let's do it.
Let me ask you something before we move on to something else. You're talking about end times, Leonarda. You're talking about things that you observe. Obviously, you're very well read. Are you having...
What about me? Am I well read?
Yes. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I own books.
Are you guys having any strange dreams right now? Like, what kind of dreams are you?
Yes.
Tell me about your dream world.
My God. I talk to my friend Erica about my dreams all the time. I have dreams of like huge waves, like the size of a building crashing over me. And I have to climb up a rope ladder with my dad who's alive in the dream and my brother. And I have dreams where I'm like on a train, almost like a children's little train with like toys in it. But I'm like escaping. It's really, I'm having vivid dreams lately.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some big stuff. Okay.
I've kind of always had them though. When I was a kid, I used to have all these dreams about the end of the world and everything getting flooded, and I'd have to like rescue my mom and my brother. I was like tormented by these dreams when I was young, constantly.
And what about lately? Anything upticking?
Those mostly went away, those dreams, and then I always have like super vivid dreams. Like I'll be on a train that's not going anywhere. I'll be like on the subway and I got to get on a different train and it doesn't go anywhere. Or
all of my worst dreams recently have been about me being in situations where I'm unprepared again.
I hate that feeling in a dream. You're like,
nothing Revelations size. It's nothing apocalyptic. Well, I wish it was, any kind of a great revealing. I'll take that. But as far as Armageddon goes, I don't know. I haven't had any.
Unprepared again? You mean like you were for COVID or something?
No, unprepared for like any like weird things, like for tests. And then I remember there was one time I always remember this story.
School dream.
Anthony and I, we had a gig. Our band. We were going to play. We were going to open up for somebody at Giant Stadium, and it was my drum set was on this metal grate of a stage, but there was no drum carpet. You don't have a carpet. These things are floating all over the place. And I also had no monitoring. So I had this, I felt completely, it sucked. We had a stadium show and I had no equipment.
Wow.
And then everything else is about test taking and shit like that. That usually happens when there's a lot of transition going on in society and in business and in the show and uncertainty. So it definitely makes sense. But as far as getting outside of yourself, I'm always interested in what other people are experiencing at night.
I often have those dreams where you're back in school. It's usually like my middle school. And I'm always like, God damn it, how do I not know my schedule? Like I spend the whole dream trying to get to the main office so I can get another schedule printed out because I go. And then I have this realization like, oh my God, most of the year has gone by and I just haven't been to math. Like there's entire classes I haven't shown up to. I'm sure there are tests coming up. I'm probably going to fail those. Like, is it too late to kiss up to these teachers? Like it's this panic of like, man, I've fallen behind and that's it. I used to have those a lot. I haven't had that recently. More like water, big waves, valleys, that kind of thing. But then also this sense of it's going to be okay and I know I can swim and I know I can climb out of it.
That's good. That's always good at the end. Hey, let's say you guys are Leonarda. What do you go to music wise if you needed to get amped?
Ooh, I don't know. I don't
Bollywood music.
Yeah,
not Bollywood.
Bollywood, so I could feel the hate.
Feel the rage.
Feel the rage. I don't really have anything. I don't think.
Well,
I don't like music anymore.
Really?
What?
Yeah, all music sucks.
Yeah,
now.
a lot of the new stuff sucks.
A lot of the new stuff I come across is pretty ambient, electronic, but I always go back to the classics for me. Whatever is classic for me. What's a feel good?
All music has been sucking basically forever, except it's hard for me. I can't really watch any movies. I can't watch TV. I could just see the propaganda in all of it.
Wow.
I hear the propaganda in the music. It's the same beat. You just feel it like fucking making you dumber as you listen to it. So I can't anymore. I mean, I'll listen to some folk Albanian music if I want to get in.
Okay.
I'll be like, yeah, it's our country. We're going to fucking kill you.
You should get into 90s rock.
All right, wait a second. Now, you speak Albanian, right?
Yeah.
All right, now hold on.
Ooh.
You have to tell me what this guy says. I went to school. Do you know who David Stanai is?
No.
Okay, well, when I went to high school, this guy was 1 year older than me. And he had an album out. He said there's X amount of Albanians in the world and X amount know my name. He was 1 year older than me. And I had to go find the album. This is from 2001.
Let's hear it.
Okay, listen. Hold on. Hold on.
Stop it. He's singing a love song. He's just saying a lot of Albanian songs will be about the land, farming, produce, because it's sort of very agricultural. So can you play it again?
Yeah.
From the beginning? So he's saying something about we became two, and then I can't even explain it, dude. But he's saying like I'm playing this instrument going through our land, and he's singing. I believe he's singing to her. Yeah.
There's that right there. You see
one.
This should be your hype up music.
David Stanai. He was a year older than us. He threw okay.
He probably was famous. Yeah, this sounds like a typical Albanian song.
He was running for school president at one point.
Uh-huh.
I was a junior, I think maybe a junior. He was a senior, and he started, as part of his campaign. Everybody's in the auditorium, and everybody doing their speeches and stuff. So of course he comes in with the whole entourage of Albanians, And they're throwing these CDs into the auditorium while he was campaigning for school president.
That's
And a few of these CDs actually hit some friends of mine in the face, almost blinded them, ruined their lives.
Oh, that's typical.
I know, but so I'm glad.
Hey, you got to do what you got to do for good music, huh?
I know. It's okay.
Sounds
So they're
like
love
Albanian Bollywood.
Yeah, it did a little. Albanians had a lot of Middle Eastern influence, unfortunately.
Oh.
Well, listen, it's proud. It's very proud. It always sounds like it's a good time. That's for sure.
It is a good
How do you
time.
feel about the stereotype that Albanians have square-shaped heads?
Is that a stereotype?
I haven't heard this one, but
What?
no.
That's the only thing I even knew about Albanians.
They have square-shaped
That
heads.
they have blockheads.
You know,
she is kind of blocky now that you're saying it.
yeah, maybe. Is that my head? Is it kind of a block?
Chat, tell me I'm not alone in this.
Is Leonarda's head the shape of a block? Spam us with the number 1.
This will be a new.
You have to see it from the back to know for sure.
This will be a new body image thing for me to be concerned about.
No. I think it's more. Maybe it's more with men. I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen some that I'm like, yeah, that's a square fucking head. I've seen that. I've seen that.
No, it's the well, I don't know. I never heard that. I guess Chrissie has some inside information. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure I have the right group on that.
The dark web. That's the dark web take. All right, let's see here. Hey, hold on. I'm going on to Rumble real quick. Hey, we're getting up on the end already. Hey, would you blow me too? Says Albanian women are hot. Leonarda, what's your OnlyFans name?
Yeah, if I wanted to have an honor killing performed on me, I'd have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I know. I'm telling you. There's just craziness right now. Hey, would you blow me again? Says 2012 was the end of the world, the end of their world. The pendulum can only swing so far before it switches direction. And then Haywood again says, this is why I don't lie to kids at Christmas about certain things. Most pedos were molested as children. Yeah. We know about the abuse cycle.
Someone in the chat has confirmed that the square head rumor is for men mostly, and that they have jogging suits.
Interesting. That's
jogging
hilarious.
suits, velour suits. They're
Suits.
still wearing those, huh? Okay, let's see here. Jay Britt says, what a great show. 2 favorite. We did that. Hello, Kitty. Thank you. My Rhinoceros says, is Bill Gates the final boss of the Gates program? Could be. Could be. Chrissie and Leonarda in studio. Damn, Tuesday is lit on Quite Frankly. Indeed it is. I'm so happy that this happened, and I hope it happens again one day. Let's see somewhere else. Let's take another call. 914-200-0269. 914-200-0269. We just had a couple just blip away.
Do we have any lesbians at all, Colin?
None.
Where's your lesbian fan base?
They're out there. They're out there. And I think
they're busy having fake lesbian
Scissoring.
sex.
Well, we'll talk to them about that.
They're busy pretending to enjoy scissoring.
630. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Holy crap, Frank.
Hello. Who's this?
This is Paul.
Paul, welcome to the show. You're on with the girls.
Yeah, 2 hot chicks.
Go ahead.
1 cup. No, okay. Anyways, yeah, Leonardo, that great show. Chrissie is hot as always. Leonardo, I agree on a lot of stuff. And just, wow, I'm amazed I'm on the show with you guys. It's crazy. It's the first time I ever talked to Frank, too. So.
Oh, wonderful. I'm glad that you're on with all 3 of us.
Yeah, and I agree. This is the end times. We're seeing it all, man. Like the weather, just the craziness and all the people and the sick trans influence and everything, and the normalization of just evil, just plain evil.
Yeah,
it's just it's wow. It's a shocking time, and I talk to everyone else around me, and I'm the kook because I'm in conspiracy theories and all that, and I'm the lunatic. So
yeah,
well, welcome to the show.
You are welcome here.
Thanks for the call, Paul. Yeah, I think there's there's quite a bit in there that you can unpack when it comes to where everybody's priorities are and what they're seeing around. For example, this whole thing about the spending bill that everybody's talking about, couldn't care less anymore. Couldn't care less. I mean, 'cause I just feel, as I said, I think that the biggest thing that could happen to this world, thing that needs to happen, it has to be supernatural at this point. It's not going to be political. We're so far beyond having political explanations for what we're seeing. So, yeah, let's go 206. You're on the air with Chrissie and Leonarda.
Oh, hey, it's me. All right. I just want to say congratulations, Frost. I'm glad to see your show, your career has turned around, after crushing G4, and also congratulations to the baby. And as always, Frank, I love the show.
Thank you. What? But wait, hold on, Jason. What did you say?
I'm a little nervous. Frost, Chrissie came on and did a character Frost.
Yes, Frost. I miss Frost. Where did she go?
Yeah.
Whatever happened to her?
She did a little joke about her destroying G4, and I tried to call last time she was on the show, and I missed her. And
let's find out what happened to Frost.
Yeah, whatever happened to Frost? Anyway, also, do you ever come to the West Coast?
I do. I'm going to be in San Diego in October.
No, northwest.
Northwest, like what? Washington? Don't make me pull out a map.
Yeah, Washington State.
Where are you? You're in Washington?
Correct.
What are the cool clubs there? Who would have me?
I'd say Tacoma Comedy Club is probably the coolest one.
Okay.
I would just watch Kelsey Clip there about.
Okay. Well, right. You never know, Jason, and thank you for the call. Chrissie might be there before you know it. That's it. With baby in tow on her back, she'll look like one of those Inuits crossing the Bering Strait or something like that with the baby on her back. All right, let's see another call. Let's try it again. 405. Go ahead.
Hey, well, I got to stop the stream.
Yes.
I'm surprised I got through. I just called to say that I forgot the number for the lesbian hotline or whatever it was. Sorry, I'm cooking dinner. I'm a little distracted. But I've been watching the chat on YouTube, and I'm really sad that all of these dudes are lusting after the brunette and not wanting to marry the redhead.
I'm
like,
married
what is
already.
wrong with Chrissie?
It's okay. Thank you. I appreciate it.
There were a lot of comments about Chrissie being hot. I've seen them.
Oh.
See, I haven't been watching. I just have to assume that the internet being what it is, that there was stuff like that going on.
I have been keeping a log, and Leonarda is getting more, but that's fine.
Leonarda, I'm sorry, I missed her name. Yeah.
Laces
Nikki
out,
told
Dan.
me not to make promises that I couldn't keep, and I was like, well, I'm actually already married, and I'm not actually a lesbian, but I really like Chrissie.
Oh,
so that was all that I called to say.
Okay, so then maybe
that makes
there's
my day.
There you have it. Very, very cordial. Thank you so much, and thank you for reporting on the state of the chat room. Okay, this should be a good one. Mark,
that would be funny to have somebody like a chat room reporter.
Mark Swan, you're on the air. This should be good.
Listen, I heard you were looking for lesbians to call in, and here I am. So.
Yes, good to have you on, Mark. So tell us a little bit about your I don't know, your coming out story.
Well, I mean, I've got some experience with scissoring, and it's just a hobby of mine. So, I'm a lesbian.
Good for you.
I'm sorry for all the ladies out there, or the guys out there. But I'm a lesbian.
Lesbian stuck in a man's body.
That's it. This is the Mark Swan. It's good to have you on again, man. And thank you. Whenever I need a headline or a update of something terrible, some inanimate object that has been stuck inside of a person's body that has to be removed in the emergency room, it's going to be Mark that delivers it to my phone. So that's
Let's talk about coconuts then.
Yes, he just sent me the other day. He sent me an article about a guy who had where was it? Sri Lanka? Where was it?
It's always somewhere like Sri Lanka. Those fuckers are weird.
This guy got a coconut stuck up his ass.
The whole thing?
I don't know how it got in there.
I'm sure we can figure out how it got in there.
But I'm just talking about physically. I don't know how this had the dedication. I need this coconut in my ass.
How much Diddy lube did this take?
A lot.
That's the thing with when you start putting stuff in your ass. It's to what end? You know, you have to just keep upping the ante.
We know what end it is, but you know.
Oh, well, thank you, Mark. This is fantastic. This show will go down in infamy. In history, this will be an infamous show. It'll be
We're
great.
covering everything.
Oh yes. The lemon faces have been completely filtered out. This is only for those who have the most intestinal fortitude of you all. 585. You're on with the girls. Go ahead.
All right. Hey, Frank, how's it going tonight?
I'm all right. Who's this?
This is Craig from Rochester, New York.
All right. Well, from Rochester to Westchester. Go ahead.
It's a glorious day in Rochester, New York. I got to get in my pool for the first time. It was 72 degrees. And I'm sitting outside listening to you. Usually I have you on my big screen, but I'm on my phone, so I had to try and call in because I want to talk about the dream thing. I'd love to have a conversation with my subconscious because I have the same kind of dreams about school. It's like I'm in school and, you know, I'm supposed to go to class and I don't always make it to class and I make it to 1 or 2 and I know I have to take a test at the end and I might not pass. And
so you're unprepared. So you're unprepared like me.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And
okay.
And the funny thing is I've been retired for 4 years and now I still have dreams about going back to work. At least in my subconscious now, it realizes, well, you're getting close to retirement.
It could be like you're feeling unprepared for the next phase of your life.
Yeah. And the other thing is I travel, and the dream is always I don't have my suitcase ready, and I'm gonna miss the flight. And all this stuff.
I get you. So listen, before we go on to the next call, because now we only have 8 minutes left. Do you have anything you want to ask the guests?
I do not. I just wanted to comment on the dream thing.
Okay.
Great show as always. Just sitting out here having a cigar, listening to you guys, and loving life.
Well, I hope one day we will once again have an official, Quite Frankly, cigar that we can. We used to have a nice hand rolled cigar. It was great. It was a Connecticut wrap with just a little hint of vanilla. I liked it a lot. But those days are 319. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Frank. Wow, I can't believe I got through.
Who is it?
This is Vince from Cedar Rapids.
What's going on, Vince? You're on with Leonarda and Chrissie.
Not much. Great show. I actually tell people all the time, like, watching you is like visual comfort food. So thank you.
Aww.
You do a great job.
Thank you.
And Chrissie, the first time I saw you, I can't remember the name of the show, but you were playing Greta Thunberg or whatever her name is.
Awesome. Yeah, Compound Media. How dare you?
And you shit yourself. It was great.
Oh, it was
I was
so
like,
fun.
who is this?
Oh,
Wow.
cool.
But anyway, I have a really stupid question. I wish I had a better question for you tonight. But I'm looking at the picture on my screen, and there's the hat that you usually show. What's at the top of that? Pubic hair?
What?
Yes, pubes.
What hat?
Yeah, there's your red hat. Well, it was on the screen before when there's like in 4 separate screens. And you have the red hat, and it looks like there's pubic hair at the top of it, poking out of the top of it.
Is it the red hat behind Chrissie? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's the image of like the little jester hat on your
the
logo
jester
there.
hat. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. Well, hold on.
When it's split in 4 screens.
Go back to it.
I know. It looks like there's pubic hair popping out of the top of it.
He's got pubes on the brain.
Are you sure?
Let's wax your hat, Frank.
I've been watching it all night, and I'm like, what the hell is that?
I don't know why you're hallucinating pubes. There's no. I don't see anything. There's a little bit of a glow.
It's pubes. Just admit it, Frank.
Do your genitals glow?
They're right there.
Oh, it does look like pubes coming out the bottom.
Yeah, it's like I think I know her.
What are you talking about?
Yes, it does look like pubes. He's not crazy. Look where the buttons end on the bottom. It looks
where the head
it looks like
is.
a toe with pubes on it or something.
Okay, well, somebody's gonna have to point this out to me now.
Look right there.
Why?
Well,
Okay,
again,
stop.
I'm sorry. I wish I had a better question for you
No, this is important.
tonight, but,
We needed to talk about this. That looks like pubes.
You mean the darker end of that?
It's hair.
Oh,
It is
okay.
hair, is it not?
Oh no, that's not hair. That is a galaxy. I mean that's a nebula right there.
What? It looks like pubes.
It's a golden nebula. So that's a star cluster that what you're seeing right there. Yeah, we just made it golden.
It looks like there's a hat on someone's dick.
Yeah, it does look like that.
You're not crazy.
What the fuck is everybody seeing?
Yeah, I didn't know what the hell this guy was talking about, but I'm on his side now.
Now I can't not see it.
It's great. I feel like this is mall rats or something. It's like I'm trying
It's
to see the sailboat.
It's like a magic eye. You're like once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for the call. You just ruined my marketing.
Thanks, Greg. Again, great job.
Yeah, thank you too. That's it. All right, I need a new logo now.
Yep.
Anybody want to pitch in? Okay, well, listen. We had a wonderful time, and I guess I have much more we could have talked about, but it doesn't matter because we just went where it had to go.
What could we have talked about that we didn't have time for?
I don't know, because we got around to that study of the 3-generation
that
lag.
was fascinating.
That right there is something pretty interesting. I mean, you and I spoke last time you were on, Chrissie. We talked about the slippery slopes that we're on, like with feminism, but overcorrections and things like that. I don't know. For example, balancing out your increasing conservatism, but also running aground with so-called trad trends and things like that. So there's always a whole bunch of things that we can go around, but it doesn't matter. I think this was wonderful. And I'm really happy you guys stopped by. Leonarda, you're going to be in DC in a couple of days, no?
Yeah, I'm going to be in DC Saturday, and then in 2 weeks I'm going to be in North Carolina. Then I'm going to be in Kansas City, Missouri. Then I'm doing the Bay Area. I'm doing a bunch. People go to my website, leonardaisfunny.com. You can see where I'm going to be.
I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
She's crushing it.
You had a great couple of years. I only see it getting better and better, and you're fearless, which is really attractive. So that's awesome. Keep it up. Do you plan yourself any months off, or
I'll be taking a month off in the summer.
Cool.
Taking a month off.
What about do you like going out for holiday seasons, or you like that to be chill too?
I like that to be chill. I mean, New Year's, I don't care. I'll perform on New Year's, but Thanksgiving, no. Christmas, no.
Wait, you know what? Here's a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you would because I remember Chrissie, she shared some videos of these adults that went somersaulting into the new Disney or
the
Universal
Disney
Park. These kids, these people that are just somersaulting in.
Do you ever notice they're always about 150 pounds overweight?
There is listen. There's a lot of facts. There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you can notice in these videos. My question for you guys is this: is there anything that would ever make you react with such childlike glee again?
Ooh.
Because I have no problem with people running around like children and feeling anything other than dread.
I think I know what Leonardo's answer is. The race is knowing their place or something like that.
No.
Childlike glee.
I react that way to babies.
Yeah.
I do. I get
babies are great. I think if I were to sit in on a practice for a USA diving or a college diving program or like a youth diving program like that, and they're all really crushing it, to watch them practice would fill me with so much joy. And
she's a record holder, right?
I didn't know that. Wow.
I don't like to brag, but it is.
She's a record holder.
Current record at Fairfield University, 3 meter.
Okay, so then here, let me ask you this then: is there anything that makes you guys act girly as shit? How you both of you know how to sling an insult. Leonarda, when you're on stage, you look like you're ready to get into a fight with anybody. But is there anything that brings you guys back to squealy girl states of being? Is it spiders on the wall? Is it
yes, insects? I can't. The stink bugs. I can't. Hornet in a fucking yellow jacket in the house. I can't.
Screeching.
Anything with wings.
Cockroaches, water bugs.
That's you?
Yeah, I don't like them. Spiders, I don't care. I don't really care about bees. But
what about rats?
No, they just disgust me. But
when I was in the city more, I would encounter them a lot.
Okay, then what?
But I don't squeal when I see them.
Okay, how about a guilty pleasure, like a hobby, a sandwich, a movie?
Ooh, there's a Thanksgiving sandwich. Well, there's other places that do it well, but there is one at this deli, the Firehouse Deli in Fairfield. I don't even know if it's still a thing anymore, but that was so good. Yeah, any kind of a sandwich with the cranberry and the cranberry in the can. If that's involved with anything, I'm gonna like it.
Pretty good.
So good. And food, oh my god,
I'm a chocolate.
Anything
girl.
coconut.
Chocolate?
Yeah. Anything coffee Haagen-Dazs.
Milk chocolate, dark chocolate.
Milk chocolate, dude. Dark chocolate's for fags, dude.
But
fags that
you
want to
can-
pretend like they have
you can
class.
have dark chocolate on a dipped strawberry that's frozen. That's good.
Fine,
I'll
but
fucks with that.
let's all stop pretending that dark chocolate's
Oh,
better
it's
than
healthy
milk.
for you. No, it's not. You can eat more milk chocolate, like it's more volume of it.
What if your doctor said, Leonardo, you're gonna have to up your cacao percentage.
Cacao.
Because it's good for your heart, and we really think that you should be eating darker chocolate. What would you say to them?
You only live once, you know.
Okay, I will die on this milk chocolate hill.
Milk chocolate's the way to go.
Well, good luck to you on the road. I can't wait to, hopefully we all cross paths again sometime down the line. And this has been truly something else. And everybody at home, thank you guys so much for watching. Real quick, Hogleg, Homegoy, Sean Joe, Sea Blanche, Fever Flav. I mean, there's a lot of people over there on quitefrankly.tv. And we got through all of you on YouTube and on Rumble, and I'll be releasing the scratch-in very soon, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night. I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow night. It's going to be a free play kind of a day, unless something pops up. So I don't know. Maybe we can take all the leftover calls tonight. If I have an account left by tomorrow morning, I will see you tomorrow night. And then Thursday night, we will be going into the spirit realm with Reverend Bill Bean. So again, thank you to Leonarda, Jonie, and to Chrissie Mayr. Both of their YouTubes are tagged in the description over there, but by the time you get this on demand on podcast, I'll make sure that their link trees are in there and everything else. So, well, until next
And I got some shows coming up
tell.
August and into the fall, more dates. So go to chrissymayr.com for tickets. I'll be in Long Island, Ohio, San Diego, Phoenix, you got a smattering of places.
I like that.
Get your tickets.
Well, Mark Swan just sent me a text message and said that if either of you can stay with him on your way to Kansas City anytime. So he lives in Missouri too. So I mean, it's not creepy at all. You can just stay at his
you know
house.
what they say? Missouri loves company.
Yeah. Yes, they do. Just don't have the seafood there is what I heard.
Oh.
Okay. Good night, everybody. Thanks again, ladies.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Okay, Chief, take him away. I'm going to go home and sleep with my wife.
Will you shut up? No.